Hey, how we doing? Welcome to this week's episode of PaddyTalks Golf Podcast. What we do here, what I do here on this YouTube channel, and more specifically for the podcast, is I literally showcase Irish golf, people in golf, the top amateurs in the game, those that turn pro, golf courses, golf people, and stories in golf, predominantly in Ireland. We've just kind of started this whole video thing, so if you like what you see, hit that like button and subscribe over there. The Paddy Talks Golf Podcast is powered by 4 Golf Custom, Derek and Jill and Don, and the beautiful people over there in 4 Golf Custom, based in Cleancastle, just outside Dublin. If you're looking for a tour level custom fitting experience, then Derek and family is the place to go. End of. This week's episode is with the South of Ireland champion 2023, Mr. Colm Campbell. Roll it there, Colette.
Colm Campbell, are you ready to tee it up?
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Celtic Symphony was the walk-on song last time you were on. Is it still Celtic Symphony is the walk-on song?
I think we'll change it up just to keep it fresh. We'll go for We're on the One Road. How about that?
One road. That's it. That's a good one. That was a good one on Sunday night. Was it the 29th, the 29th of August, of July there, wasn't it? Was that rolling out? Did you hit the Mont? Did you?
No, unfortunately not. No. I had outstayed my welcome in Lahinch at that stage, I think.
Well, first of all, many congratulations. South of Ireland champion 2023, Colm Campbell. Nice ring to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the sound of that one.
If anybody doesn't follow Colm on Instagram, you should, because it has like the emojis for, like, I think it's your daughter. Our daughter's actually kind of the same age, and then just like all the victories. So I got a nice new one. You should do it. It's in chronological order, so the most current ones are down the bottom. So you have to go see more and go on some more. Go on some
Not
more.
intentional, by the way.
I played the Monday before the South of Ireland practice round started the Tuesday. I played it on the Monday, and I had only one person sneak into my DMs looking for course conditions, and that was you, my friend. Did the voice note help? Probably not.
No. It's always good to get a bit of local information. So it is. Every key piece of information all helps.
You got a local man on the bag as well.
Yeah, Daniel. Yeah,
McInerney crew.
McInerney. Yeah. Look. Since I've been down to Lahinch, Padraig's been very good to me. Along with Paddy as well. And last year, in the last 16, I think it was, Padraig said to me, look, there's rain due to come in. Do you want Daniel to jump on the bag and let him sort of look after the towels and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And he done a good job. And I said to him, I messaged him the week before and just said, look, if you're around and fancy jumping on the bag, be a great help. So yeah, he came along and he was brilliant from start to finish. Like especially in the couple of earlier stages of the tournament. You know, the qualifying rounds were tricky. They were wet, so it was a big advantage having a caddy over those couple of days.
Now, the best is because I was actually this year was my second year actually hanging around in about a decade. So I was there. I played on the Monday, then it shut down course wise for members wise or visitors the Tuesday through the Sunday. And the Monday and Tuesday of South of Ireland week was the best weather.
Yeah.
Before any competition really actually started. The next couple of days, it was like a 2-3 club wind all week. Bar, I think, Thursday afternoon, maybe. You were Mr. Consistent for the week, though. I'm looking at the scores here of like the first 2 qualifying rounds. I think it was 73, 74. Made the cut handy. And then into match play. But where was the mindset before? I saw a couple of screenshots on the Sunday evening, when everybody's celebrating, like, oh yeah, I'll take I'm the reason he won and I'm the reason he won. There was a couple of screenshots there of, I think it was you were texting a buddy and it was like, if I can get the putter right, I'm in with a shout. So the couple of weeks leading up to the South, because you won one for the working class, the amateurs who still work, the guys with kids, the guys who are, have a 9 to 5, and you cover Ireland for paying, I believe. So it ain't a job like me where I can like keep the green light on. and go sneak out for 9 holes.
No.
Where did you feel the game was the week before or the few weeks leading up to the South?
Yeah, like, game was sort of starting to trend a little bit in the right direction because, like, being bluntly honest, I had a really, really poor season leading up until I went to the St Andrews Links Trophy, and I played nicely in it. So I did. I made the cut there, which was a good cut to make because that's one of the best fields of the year. Although I ended up finishing last of the ones that made the cut, but from tee to green, the game was very, very, very positive. Putter was very cold throughout the week, but then we obviously had a huge gap in the calendar, so I was just tipping along, playing golf at home, and it's different when you're playing golf at home because you just know the land, you just know the land of the lay and all that sort of stuff. And then I played the Hermitage Scratch Cup, which was the week before, I think, and hit the ball lovely. Putter, could see it starting to maybe trend in the right direction. So I was going there, down there optimistic that if I got the putter going, I had a chance. Again, I've had a decent enough record in Lahinch over the years, and it's a course I'm very comfortable on. So again, as you know, match play, be a wee bit more aggressive with a putter, and luck putt started to drop, and we started edging our way through each round as we went.
I had a few people in my I had a few people I earmarked. Obviously, people who are friends of the podcast, like yourself. But people in form or whatever else. So I had my top three, my picks that I didn't put any money on, that you was talking about in the 19th and the Sunday night that you didn't put money on, was yourself, Ryan Griffin, and Peter O'Keefe, and you played all of them in the last 2 rounds of the match play.
Yeah.
The Ryan Griffin match I followed from 14 through to the second extra hole. It was riveting. The quality of golf, the quality of golf in the conditions was insane. And bar the first 2 rounds, you shot 1 over, 2 over, which in the conditions is quite good. I heard a rumor then that you were like 4 and 5 under through 12 and 13 holes in most of your matches. Well,
No.
maybe this Sunday morning there was a 5 under through 13 in the harshest conditions all week.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Look, it was like going back to some of the early matches I had. I was pretty much behind in all my games going into the last 7, 8 holes. And those last 7 holes or so are just pars win you a lot of holes, especially the way that wind was blowing. Even the game I had against Mark, against Bouch in the last 16, like I finished 2-4-4 to win 1 up. Actually 4-2-4-4 to get over the line, which was I probably hit the best shot of the week against Mark, down 18 after hitting it in the bunker off the tee and then hitting 8 iron to, he gave it to me. It was that close, and but then even the game against Ryan, like, he just would not go away. He was just so clutch. I was 2 up with 4 to go, and I hadn't played that much with Ryan, and I have to say he's one of the most improved that I've seen over the last couple of years on the Irish circuit, and a real good lad as well. And I don't think it'll be too far away before he picks up a championship with how he plays golf.
No, absolutely. So I pride myself when it gets windy, right? Especially round home. And I treat it like I once said, I'm Brooks Koepka, but I have like that Brooks Koepka mentality. When the weather comes out, I only have like 8 or 9 people to beat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it does get windy. How do you, like, Warren Point ain't the calmest places either.
No.
So, but I mean, the ball flight control from the likes of yourself, Ryan, Peter, the few Rob Moore and the few guys I was watching over the week was insane. Like, do you go to flight school for that? Are you on the range managing flight, or is it just you're just used to playing in those conditions, so you just take it out of the back pocket. Did you get that question? Did the connection go there for a second? Did it? We back in the house. Do you have me, Colm? You gotta love it when a child turns on the Wi-Fi. But the glory is your site should that this program here that we're in should have gotten all that first bit.
I never heard any of it.
That's all right. Do you know until that flight school question? I was talking about ball
Yes,
flights.
yeah. I heard up until you said about
Do you pull it out of your back
to
pocket?
start about talking about ball flight, and that was it. I don't remember after.
So this studio should have recorded everything we talked about up until that point, and this should be part 2. And if that doesn't work, well then we might try it another day. We'll try and salvage it. No panic.
No worries.
Love tech. Love tech.
Absolutely.
Where was I? We were talking about ball flights. So we have hit record. Glorious. So playing windy conditions. I'll drop the Brooks Koepka quote in case I didn't get that bit. Brooks Koepka normally says he only has to play like 8 or 9 people in the field. That's how I feel in Lahinch when the wind gets up, right? And of yourself, the ball flights, especially in your match against Ryan, because I watched that for a good few holes, were stuff I could only dream of. Do you know what I mean? I just let the wind play my ball around. I just aim accordingly. But like you were like playing soft draws into the wind that was off left to right, stuff I can only dream of. Do you guys go to flight school for that? Do you know what I mean? Is that stuff you're practicing on the range, or for people like yourself, Warren Point ain't the calmest places on the planet? Is it something you're just used to, and there are shots that are in the locker and you go to the back pocket?
Yeah, in fairness, like although Warren Point's it's a parkland golf course, it does get very windy, so it does, like, very rarely you play a Warren Point and there's not a wind blowing of some. But yeah, like, to be fair, like, I think when you're swinging the club well and confidence is high, I think you can feel you're pretty comfortable in hitting whatever sort of shot you want to hit. And the wind was blowing that hard at times. You sort of had to nearly turn it into it to sort of try and hold it on its line as long as possible. And but yeah, look, it was nice that you had full thrust in what you were doing that week. And I actually put a new set of irons in the bag sort of about a week or 2 leading into it, and that was a big moment for me. Now I'm a man of I don't like change too often, so I have to say a big thanks to Matt and Jeff and Dominic, the lads on the truck that looked after me with getting me the right set of sticks in my hand. Because I was a hard man to shift.
You can't not say what went in now. What went into the bag?
So the I-230s went in, and I got them at the start of the year, and just wasn't comfortable with them. Just didn't feel they were heavy enough. So we made a little bit of a shaft change as well. So went to slightly different shaft, a little bit heavier, something a little bit low spin and lower trajectory shaft. So that was a big help.
So are we talking, and we'll go technical for a second, you'd know 4Golf Custom sponsor the podcast when I come out with stuff like, did you go for loading zone LZs, or had you gone into the KBS money tapers?
Yeah, so went KBS C tapers, went for the 125s, the S pluses, and just I like something that feels quite heavy at the top of my swing. I like to feel where the golf club is, and I wasn't getting that when the old shaft was in it. So like, I'm very, very weird when it comes to golf clubs. So
it's called feel. It's called feel, Colm.
Yeah, it is. It is. So that definitely was a big factor in winning in the South as well, because I had a lot of really good iron shots over the course of the week, and I had total trust and faith in what I was doing with them, which was a nice feeling as well.
100%. Something I couldn't get over was how you hold putts from, that outside, what is it, like 5 foot on tour is like goes down to 70%. It's like kind of 5 to 12 foot range. Like when I was watching the holes you were on, on the Saturday, I think you held 12 footers on 16, 17, and the final hole, the 20th hole against Ryan. You know, and I was nudging my buddy because he'd money on Griffin, of course. I was the one that has this. So that I think it was a putt for the half on 17 against Ryan and nailed it. I was like, yeah. What goes through your head when you have a putt in that scenario? Where is your focus?
Just picking a good target, good start point, and just trusting it. Like, I have to say, the greens in Lahinch were out of this world. They were superb all week. Probably as good as I've putted on this year. And that's a big confidence as well, knowing that when you hit a good putt, you know, it's got a real good chance of hitting the hole. And that definitely was a big moment. So it was. The greens were just so pure in Lahinch. They were unbelievable all week. But yeah, just trusting the line and no real self-doubt. And funny, there was something I listened to about leading into that week, was what McIlroy was doing, that he wasn't reading his putt until it was his turn to actually putt. So he wasn't overthinking his process leading into the putt. And it was something I actually started in the stroke play, and it stuck with me the whole way through it, that, you know, I wasn't reading the putt until it was my turn to actually hit the putt. And I just stuck to that process the whole week. So that definitely was a big help as well. So it was.
There's something for everybody to take home now. Don't do anything until it's your turn. Don't be ready to play at all. Just but don't be taking forever.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying, because a lot of people, especially around places like Lahinch or these marquee golf courses, you'll be thinking and overthinking and then allowing for the wind, and then your brain is frazzled by the time you're over a ball. So I do understand what you're saying.
And like, you know, the other thing as well is I had young Daniel there that was, you know, had the local knowledge, and he saw a few putts that I didn't see, and he gave me some really good readings throughout the week as well, and he made some good calls, so he did on the green, so that was a big factor in it as well.
Well, anytime you're going to Lahinch so and you need a caddy, you know who to ask for. Huey Ben is normally gets asked for because he's been on all the YouTube shows. You know, he was on like No Lane Up and and a few other people gone to Lahinch and they request Huey. So Daniel might get a few requests now after this.
Daniel's going to be the new king in Lahinch for a while, I think, after last week. Yeah.
Does he get half the jacket?
Don't think he'd fit into it.
Come here to me. The final was against possibly, you know, one of the biggest names in Irish amateur sport, between his visibility through his own brand and what he does, but also given he was in the final last year. He was a lot of people's favourites. How did you approach the final, knowing you were going up against Mr. O'Keefe? I'm sure you've played a lot of golf with Peter, have you, with Pedro over the years?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I know Peter very well. We'd be good friends. But, you know, my mindset didn't change whoever I played. My goal was just pick a target, commit to the shot. And to be honest, like, golf nearly went out the window in the final. It was just who could limit the damage as best as possible, to be honest. And to be fair, look, you know, going out start of the match, it was always going to be a tough ask against a player of Peter's caliber. He's a class act and he's won many championships, and it was always going to be tough. But I never doubted myself, and you know, I knew if I just stuck in and hung around and stayed patient, and that was obviously the key over the course of the week. And you know, it got off to, you know, I just didn't really get going at all in the final. Obviously it was difficult with the conditions, but you know, the putter really kept me in the match right throughout the whole 18 holes, and you know, he was probably thinking, was I ever going to go away? And so yeah, look, it was just a matter of just sticking at it and keep banging on the door and taking chances whenever I got them. Because to be fair, he didn't give me too many chances through the first 15 holes, so he didn't.
Yeah, two down with 3 to play. Where was the head at? Because you've a little bit of a walk. Most of the walks between green to tee box, bar the 12 to 13 in the Hinch are quite short. What was what was going through the mind walking up to the second highest point in the golf course in the Hinch, 2 down, 3 to play, where you're like, jeez, because most people like me would be going, I can taste the Guinness already. I just want to drown these sorrows. It ain't going to happen. But where was your mindset at?
It was actually good. I said to Daniel, walking up after Peter missed a good chance in 15 to go 3 up. And I said to Daniel once he missed, I was like, we're still in this. We have a chance. I was like 16, 17 and 18. We're playing very tough. So I knew I had it was a small chance. And I think probably in normal conditions, I probably wouldn't have got the chance. But with the conditions we were playing in, I just felt we had a small chance, and Peter threw me a little bone at 16, and then 17 I managed to stand up and I just absolutely striped one down the middle of the fairway, and because that was an absolute horrible tee shot, and it's a tough tee shot now with the introduction of the mounds up the left.
There's no bailout now, is there?
No, there's really not. There's not. And all week that tee shot it was so tough. Especially off the back tee as well, and how the wind was playing. But I think 17 was a real key moment. So it was me getting my tee shot down the middle of the fairway. Probably just put a wee bit more pressure on Pete. So it did.
And you won on in 18. And you won what many people call the Holy Grail, being the South with the history and everything else. And you'll be in that hallway forevermore with the greats of the game. And then I think I think it was on Brian Keogh, I saw it on his feed, possibly one of the best acceptance speeches known to man in how you went about it. It was like, this is how you give an acceptance speech. Is that because you've won so much, or, that's just how it's done, is it?
I don't know. It was all off the cuff, to be honest. Look, I've obviously been fortunate to say a few speeches over the years. But look, everything I said was how I was feeling in the moment. I'll say it again. I did feel for Big Pete, to be honest. It's never nice to lose in that manner. And it's obviously, for me, it was tricky at the time. I was a bit shell shocked and what had just unfolded over those last 3 holes, and but look, at the end of the day, nobody gives you these things either. You have to go and earn them. But look, it was just one of those things that I said what I was feeling at the time, and the one thing when you're saying a speech, you always end up forgetting somebody, I'm sure. But look, you just go with it, I suppose.
No, you did well. You did well. Was a home internationals on your radar before winning the South?
It actually wasn't. No, to be honest. Being honest, I didn't deserve a place leading into the South. I played so poorly, and just obviously with how things probably finished up last year as well. Probably I just, it was a tricky one, and I didn't see me ever sort of going back in, but. When you get a phone call to be, to ask you available to play for your country, it doesn't take too long to answer that question, so it doesn't.
It does not. A phone call of dreams. It's not your first cap though.
No.
I haven't done the research for this. I have kids now, so there isn't much research for these podcasts anymore. Whatever there was before, there's even less now.
It's out the window.
You've been capped. You've been capped a few times, but how did you find getting back into that team scenario with the country? Was there a team of lads you'd kind of played a bit of golf with before? You're on the circuit, so perhaps.
What do you mean? Sorry.
So getting back into that team fold of homes, it didn't feel alien to you at all. Were you able to kind of slide back into what do they call it, the anchor man of Irish amateur golf? I'd be calling you Comeback Campbell after this one, given most of your matches you came from behind. How did you find the week in Wales and at home internationals?
Yeah, it was super. It was really, really good. We had a really good team. The team chemistry all week was brilliant. We had a really good bunch of lads. Irish golf's in a really good spot, so it is. It was a tough team to make. If you look at the lads that missed out on it, you had Big Pete, you had Rob Brazel, to name a few. Yeah, it was superb. We had a really, the week was brilliant from start to finish. We played a really good golf course in McInnes. Unfortunately, we just came up a little bit shy on the last day against England. For two years in a row to lose by half a point. You know, the thing about it is England are just so strong and they've got so much depth, and they just don't give you any games easily. You have to earn them. So it was a really good week. Loved every moment of it, and look, I want to continue to represent my country going forward. So when you get into it and you get the taste of it, you just want to keep going and keep achieving it. And look, it's not easy to make these teams, but if you're putting in the performances, it takes care of itself, I suppose.
Absolutely. Nothing but congratulations for you over the past 3 weeks, especially. Come here to me. The next few weeks we've got Women's Irish Open, we've the Men's Irish Open, DP World Tours, and the K Club. But what is on your schedule for the rest of the season?
Yeah,
amateur golf wise.
So we've got the Men's Irish Close this weekend in Malone. So slightly different.
So by the time this podcast goes out, you might be Irish you might be champion twice over.
Yeah, chasing that. Somebody said to me that the slam as such, so it's one that we haven't ticked off the list yet. So, but obviously we'll not get too far ahead of ourselves. But yeah, no, the Close in Malone, really good golf course. 72 hole stroke. So really looking forward to that. And then we have what's after that? There's still the north of Ireland to play in Royal Portrush, and possibly the Irish Mid-Am in Port Saling as well at the end of the year.
That's for us old cronies. I might make that one. Mid-Am.
Yeah.
On my age, not by
know.
my handicap. So a few more local courses for you. So for the next 3.
Yes.
What will you be doing for the winter time? Will you go on back into the fitness classes that you were doing last year and so forth?
Yeah, look, I hopefully be able to get back into it. I've been struggling with a foot injury. I've got that plantar fasciitis, so the running has took a serious knock on the head. But the plan is to get back into it and try and shift a few unwanted pounds as well,
Well, if they're winning the championships, maybe you should keep them. So,
yeah, true.
Facts. That'd be my excuse. I'll need to win a championship first. You have a good excuse. Come here to me, Colm. Thanks very much for your time. Congratulations on the past few weeks. All the best in Malone a couple of weeks ago. And really looking forward to you defending South of Ireland Championship in 2024. I'll see you there.
Thank you kindly. Cheers, Paddy.
That was the gentleman that is Colm Campbell. Thank you for watching. If you've got this far, like the video. If you liked the episode and you liked the video and you like the clips and you like the stories and you like the questions, hit subscribe over here so you don't miss the next one. Big thanks to Derek and co at Foregolf Custom for making all this happen and supporting what I do here and helping me get guests, etc., and elevating the whole experience. That's what they're all about, is 5-star experience. So I'm hoping to get to that level someday. That's all from me. Until we tee it up next time, I'm Paddy.